Anyway, here.
Scenario, they have no interest. None whatsoever. How long before the Kyle Rittenhouse situation, that night, did it come out that he was a white...
See, here's what I don't understand. Okay? Two questions. One, does Steven Crowder not think that like CNN and all of these other mainstream outlets are not covering this important story? Because they certainly are. And if two, his argument is like, oh, why are they? Because they are already covering it. So it's already destroyed. But let's say they weren't covering it like. And his argument is then, oh, why aren't they making speculations about it? Because the guy is black, right? First of all, one, you're currently engaging in speculation on a breaking news story while simultaneously criticizing them for covering breaking news stories and adding speculation to it in the past with Kyle Rittenhouse. So you're not just like, ooh, gesturing wildly at hypocrisy. You yourself are engaging in that hypocrisy, okay? So you're doing the exact same thing that you are upset at them for not doing or doing in other instances as you're doing it in this instance, okay? That's idiotic. It's just like... Anyway, let's keep going.
Supremacists are tied to militia. Right now, they have the police scanner audio.
Yeah.
They've caught the guy. They have his criminal record, and we don't know if he or she or Z in there could have been aggravated. In fact, because it was not a gay pride parade, and that's going to force us to take a good long hard look at ourselves. Back to you, Anderson.
Yeah, that's the difference. Like, it was not a gay pride parade. It was just a holiday parade. You understand? A holiday parade is attended by gay people as well. As a matter of fact, it's attended by everyone, usually. Like, conservatives, I don't think, own holiday parades. You know what I mean? No one is like, oh, the Thanksgiving parade is happening. You know, that's yet another instance of a conservative parade. No. When conservatives do parades, that is exclusively conservative, it's Unite the Right. It's Charlottesville. It's Nazis. Okay? It's anti-vaxxers. This was a holiday parade. Don't you mean that it's a Christmas parade? But like, again, a lot of people celebrate Christmas. I like Christmas. I'm fucking Muslim, you know?
So yesterday, you all know that a car plowed through a Christmas parade in Wisconsin.
Oh, it wasn't a gay pride parade, so no one will care.
Right, exactly. No one will.
I don't understand. Aren't they doing misinformation right now by claiming that no one will care when this is literally like everyone is covering this already? Like they've been covering it since last night, and they will continue to cover it as more details come up. It's a national story. It's top trending. CNN is covering it. New York Times is covering it. I mean, let's go. NewYorkTimes.com. Let's take a look. NewYorkTimes.com, front page. Man intentionally drove into Wisconsin holiday parade, police say. Literally all the information is readily available right here. It's on the front page. It is literally on the front page. Okay, let's look at CNN.com. Okay, CNN.com. Suspect faces 5 counts of intentional homicide in deadly parade tragedy. Officials identified the suspect and said he was involved in a domestic disturbance just prior. Millskiff, when they published? I mean, it's literally on the front page. Okay? BBC, Wisconsin police identity parade incident victims. At least 5 people aged 52 to, you know. Every article, every major news website is covering this, okay? It's international news for the most part. BBC is covering it, right? Now, when did Steven Crowder cover this? Well, he covered this morning. He went live this morning and he covered it this morning. So, functionally, we know as a matter of fucking fact that mainstream news, that mainstream media in general, covered it at the exact same time that he's covering it. You understand? This idea that like no one is covering this story is completely made up. He's just completely making it up. Making that up. It's just a lie. Some of you want to continue on with that lie, which is why you said something like, when was it published? It was published around the same time that this was published at the very least. Like that's what we know. You understand? They waited too much. That's not true. They were covering it last night as well. So you're wrong. Also, you don't understand how newspapers work. But that's okay. I think you're a Misgift fan. So that's probably the reason. We'll keep you in here as a pet. They waited too much, he said.
Media said an accident.
Mm-hmm.
It happened literally last night on a Sunday night. They covered it last night at a Sunday night. Of course, it was mainstream news immediately.
Yes, an accident.
Yeah,
You
right.
drive at
Well, we
people.
have some more info here on the suspects today, and there was a lot of misinformation on both sides going out yesterday. I would say 95% confident in what we.
Oh, wait, hold on. Do you mean to tell me that when there's a breaking news story, there's misinformation on both sides, which is perhaps the reason why people should at least like make sure that they're not rushing to conclusions immediately, kind of like what Steven Crowder is doing at this moment right now? That's crazy. I am so confused. That's the point. You're not like yesterday when this was occurring live, literally as it was occurring, people in my chat, as they always do, came in and were like, dude, cover the story. And what did I say? I am not going to cover a breaking news incident without figuring out additional details. That's it. I said that, and that's what I do whenever there's like extra fucking shit popping off. The only thing I will address is usually the misinformation that other people are misinformation from other people that are making shit up. You're so smart, man. Like very, very smart. How can anybody question you? Dude, let him talk. Let Crowder talk. Like. Says jangle my balls. It's like on the no. Don't time him out. Don't time him out. No. That's a pet. That's a pet. We gotta keep him in here. 100%.
We've confirmed, so I want to make sure that we have it accurate for you. At least at this point, at the point of broadcasting, 5 killed, over 40 injured. I'm not going to show you the video. I don't want to show you the video.
No.
The video is very suspicious because he does swerve to avoid some people, then deliberately hits other people. The first story we were given was, it was another event that had taken place, a stabbing or some kind of violent crime, and then he was fleeing. And that was it. That was all we heard. Well, that's obviously not true. This wasn't the route he would have had to take to flee, and he was proactively seeking out people to kill. If you watch.
Wow. Wait, hold on. To the Miss Kid who was wondering, and everyone else, and Steven Crowder. This was yesterday at 4:25 p.m. Breaking news: the driver of an SUV plowed into a holiday parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin on Sunday, leaving several people injured, according to an eyewitness. It's almost like this was as it was happening. It's almost like the New York Times was covering breaking news that was a matter of national news. Is there anything else that you would like? Oh, you said black supremacist. Okay. Got it. So when you are met with information that completely shatters the argument that you were trying to put together, then you just like gesture wildly at something else. It makes sense. But no details. Because it was happening at that moment. Look, I'm gonna dumb this down for you because you're obviously a very smooth-brained individual. I'm gonna try to make this as consumable for you as possible. I am trolling Lamau. Okay, well then now you got banned. I was just pretending to be just a fucking idiot. That was just a joke. Come on, dude. I was just trolling, dude. I'm just trolling, bro. Come on. Yeah, no, you weren't trolling. You were just, you're a fucking moron. And when you get called out for being a moron, you then turn around and you say, oh, I was just trolling. It was just a prank.
Watch the video, which look, take my word for it. I don't encourage you to watch the video. It absolutely is. This is just heartbreaking. I get a pit in my stomach even thinking about it. Kids were, as far as we know, could have been killed. But here's the thing.
But why is that? I don't mean to cut you off, Mr. But why is there a defense to it right away? Why would you jump to defending like, look, guys, he was...
Who is doing that? No one did that. Who was defending a fucking dude who drove into a crowd at a holiday parade? It's like yesterday, someone burned down an orphanage. Why is the loony left defending this orphanage burner? You know what I mean? There's like driving in to a crowd of people when it's a fucking holiday parade is just universally something that people are against. Who the fuck would defend? Maybe it's projection, I think, because, conservatives do love defending people that drive into crowds of protesters. So that's probably why their immediate assumption is like the other side is defending this too, probably, right? Like it's what they would do. So they assume that like the other side or liberals would do that as well. But like, this isn't even a political situation. It's just like, it's a universal thing.
It's just fleeing a stabbing. It wasn't on purpose.
Yeah.
Well,
There's nothing to defend.
You haven't heard of a good old knife fight?
Come on.
Mackay
Wait, that's not a defense. Okay.
Brian, that's what they do, and by they I mean the kids.
Yes.
The kids. It's all TikTok and knife fighting these days.
Well, so what? So he stabbed somebody and was trying to get away and was driving it at
He's an
people.
influencer.
Yeah, I mean,
Really?
for crying out loud. What are you doing? How about you do your part and open up the door to your Neiman Marcus for those in need?
Yeah. Well, Dave, you know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're providing cover.
Of course.
Or at least they're praying and hoping, like, oh, please, God, don't let this be in relation to the Rittenhouse verdict.
So one thing that I consider to be very weird in this situation is like, there is no known political reasoning for this, right? But it seems like Steven Crowder wants there to be one and is upset that the media is not saying there is one. But because like cops and everyone else involved in the case has said that there is no known, like there is no political reason for this, it's not like an act of terror or anything like that, he's upset, so he's moving the goalpost and claiming that they're not covering it fast enough, which we immediately destroyed. Obviously, that was such a silly lie to say. And that if they are covering it fast enough, they're keeping the details a secret. Well, that's also not true. Obviously, of course, they're not keeping the details a secret. It's in the articles. This is something that, it's something that reactionaries who were Islamophobic would do about the British news. They would say like, oh, they're hiding the number of like Islamophobic, or they're hiding the number of like Muslim rapes or something by hiding the data and claiming that it's just Asians, it's Asian attacks. When in fact it was like American morons who thought that in the UK, the way to refer to people from Pakistan was Asian because they are in Asia. And in America, we don't do that. So our right-wing reactionary essayists thought that like the BBC was hiding the truth somehow when it's actually just the way that they've always covered it. It's like you are letting your idiocy and your stupidity guide your commentary here.
When is the media going to start getting charged for the stuff that they've caused for the last 2 years?
Oh, no.
Yeah, it would be never.
Never.
Well, they should be, because there's a difference between freedom of speech and inciting complete crime and riots.
Wait. You say inciting is bad. I thought they knew that.
Yeah.
But they've done it.
They want to claim that we're inciting violence by
That's
saying
their
don't
job.
allow yourself to be
Yeah.
a victim, whereas they go out and say white supremacy, folks. The Kyle Rittenhouse jury shows you that white people can kill anybody in America. What if he was black? We're going to get to that in a second. Also, we have an example right here of how the media treated it very differently. So it just said person. Actually, at the time of this broadcast, or at least when I started this show, CNN still doesn't have a description of the suspect. They did not, as of 10:30 Eastern, a.m. on Monday.
I don't believe that. Like, I just don't. I don't believe him at all. I think he's just lying. Again, he personally doesn't know. So he's just going off and saying like, yeah, no. Like they've revealed this information. It's already on. Okay? I don't understand. What's the take here? Like, let's go to CNN.com, okay? Suspect at least 5 killed after SUV plows into Wisconsin holiday parade. Okay? They have the victims, they have the information of the victims. They have information on the driver. Okay? They're covering it by focusing on the victims, as they always do. What's going on in Waukesha, or Waukesha, sorry. Suspect faces 5 counts of intentional homicide with more charges possible, says police chief. Okay? And they've identified him as Daryl E. Brooks. Okay? As of what? 1 hour and 25 minutes ago. The police identify suspect in the parade incident. They wrote it down. There you go. Waukesha is a meme here, calling it Waukesha? No. So as soon as the police reveal the information, they reveal it as well. They put it in there. What is the, like, do they want him to say like black male? Is that why? They didn't say like, they didn't do the Breitbart thing? Is that what it is? Like they should have just said he's a black male. Is that what the problem is? Is that what's going on? Like, do you think that let me ask something to people here that are like genuinely on the margins of this story. Yeah, Fox News didn't do it either, by the way, but that's besides the point because they're pussies too. So no mugshot when it's shown elsewhere. That, my friends, is oftentimes something that mainstream media stops from doing, specifically because they don't want to publicize the attacker, the shooter, the killer. They do this with white supremacist shooters as well, in an effort to curb back copycat attacks. So that's a very classic thing, especially in a breaking story. They often won't reveal mugshots. One, because you don't even know if you apprehended the right person or you're covering the right person. You don't want people to go out and like look for people that are similar in ongoing instances. When there's an apprehension, even after that, they sometimes don't reveal it. It's on a case-by-case basis. So, yeah, journals will reveal skin color if it's relevant to the story, i.e. if a child is abducted and the suspect is at large, otherwise not relevant at this stage. And even then, they won't like reveal usually the footage. So there are multiple different reasons as to why they don't do that. So yeah, because Reddit will investigate it, and Reddit investigators will catch, for example, the wrong Boston marathon bomber and ruin their fucking lives. So these are some very real consequences that come from revealing such information in the media, which is why they stop. Which is why they stopped the. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Wait, are you telling me that they don't mention that he was white? Wait, when CNN reported the breaking news story of the Kenosha shooting, they don't mention that he's white? That's crazy, dude. What? They only say a 17-year-old Illinois resident connected to an overnight shooting during a protest in Kenosha, Wisconsin was taken into custody? Wait, stop. That's so racist of CNN to not do that, dude. And here's why it's so stupid. Okay? Here's why this argument is so stupid. What do they gain from hiding this? Like, let's say they have a liberal bias or something. You already know he's white because his name is Kyle. Okay, the other dude's name is Darren. Hold on a moment. Not Darren, it's Daryl. Sorry. So, as I was saying, like, do they think that CNN thinks no one will know that the perpetrator is black eventually? Like, they don't get anything out of it. Okay? And there's probably no better example that, like, every story for Steven Crowder is just about, figuring out a new way to shit on, liberal media and, like, liberals in general and the left in general, than this one. It's like there's information being drip fed, okay? And it's just simply a talking point to attack the fucking left wildly. And when there is nothing that the supposedly left or liberal media has done, he'll just make something up. He'll make something up and say, well, actually, they just didn't cover it hard enough. Or, well, actually, they did cover it, but they just, like, didn't reveal that he was black. Okay?
So either they're not doing their job, they're really bad at their job, or they're lying. At what point do they...
Both sides do that? Well, we just showed you that CNN didn't do that with Kyle Rittenhouse either. So I guess they were being racist towards black people or something. I don't fucking know. By not revealing the white shooter's race.
Cease to be useful. At what point do we realize that they are not news organizations?
20 years ago?
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah.
One of the last...
Unlike the real news organization, Breitbart, for example. The only real news organization is Breitbart, which famously had a black crime section on their website. They had a black crime tag. Breitbart, Latin America for Breitbart is a fluent Spanish speaker, that one of the most incendiary pieces to carry the notorious black crime tag was written by a man named Jerome Hudson, who, like some other black conservatives, worries that the focus on police brutality is siphoning outrage away from gang violence. Breitbart, up until I believe 2015, had a tag specifically dedicated to black crime. That's a real news article. That's a real news, that's the real news. The only time, up until 2017, sorry, I thought it was 2015. On the website, they specifically had a black crime tag. Is that the only way to cover real news? Is that what it is? Is that how this works? The only way that CNN could do that is if they are, tracking local news. Do they have a white crime tag? Fuck no, dude. Are you fucking stupid? Of course they didn't have a white crime tag.
Time Ted Turner wrote out in a steer. Here's the police scanner that reported the suspect. This happened. You would think they'd have access to it, considering.
Okay, but that's kind of based, though. Quiet libtard snowflake. It's kind of based to have a black crime tag.
That we did.
Well, it was a Darrell Brooks. That rings for anything.
Ruling A-firm, I ran that subject. Moss found his ID in the car. He is suspended. Looks like he's at at least 199 on the system.
Copy. That's who he's identifying. Soft fat, lighter skin, black male, dreadlocks, red shirt, blue, no shoes.
Now, I guess what Sienna would have preferred the description be, he's
There is no preference here, dog. A person committed a fucking crime, and of course the mainstream media is going to cover it. Why the fuck would they try to hide that? Okay? Why would they hide that? Everyone is going to inevitably, once the police reveals this information, know this. And the reason why they're going to know this is because they're the fucking media. This is like how they work. Steven Crowder most likely did not go to primary sources. He doesn't have journalists. He didn't fucking go out there to, Waukesha and send a roving correspondent to Waukesha to interview the police chief. He found out because he Googled it and someone on fucking mainstream media actually reported on it, and now he's revealing that information. So it's so fucking stupid that like guys who don't create their own fucking news, like myself, then act this way, okay? And he's upset. He doesn't even give a fuck about the people that died. He doesn't even give a fuck about what happened. He's just using this as an opportunity to just say, why didn't CNN say black guy did this immediately? It's just, that's the only thing he cares about. Even though CNN also revealed details about this person as they came out. And when they did, then it's like, okay, well then why can't you say black people are bad? Well, why is CNN not saying black man bad?
You know, with the hair.
Just grab a dog whistle.
And
Like, that's not how this works. That's not how this works. I guess Steven Crowder never like worked for a journalist outlet. Okay, he's just like a reactionary dipshit. I have in the past. I also have other journalists that come on all the time. This is what I studied in college. The way this works is you don't just fucking trace 911 calls. Okay, monitor like police scanner 911 calls, 911 calls, and then fucking cover the story or write the story as a matter of fact. That's how you get shit wrong. Because in the heat of the moment, cops get shit wrong all the time. That's why you have to wait for the police to make a statement. There is a press conference. There would be no need for such a press conference if everyone was just getting information from watching the fucking scanners. Okay? That's not how that works.
So this didn't stop leftists and media right away from jumping on to white supremacy Kyle Rittenhouse narrative. So journalist Chris Wiggins, who is not from a Dickens novel, tweeted, "It's okay. The driver in Waukesha was afraid for his life and defending himself from the unarmed holiday crowd. That's Wisconsin law now." Actor.
Oh, that's awesome to say.
Yeah, actor.
Have you learned what color the driver of the SUV was in Waukesha yet? So right-wing media can decide if running over people in a Christmas parade was terrorism, mental illness, or some acting. Wait, but that's actually good. None of these are also. These are criticisms launched towards a totally separate case. They are making political takes off of an ongoing tragedy. Okay? Which is, and they're correct. Their takes are correct. Except Steven Crowder is literally proving the one on the right correct right now. Steven Crowder is in the process of showing a tweet that basically predicted his behavior. You didn't have to put that in there, brother. Why are you owning yourself? And then why are you uploading it? It's just like that person pre-watched what you were going to do tomorrow. That's how predictable you are.
Actor Angela Belcamino said the driver from the incident in Waukesha will claim self-defense. It's just the new normal. Writer Janice Hoff, have we learned what color the driver was so right-wing media can decide if running people over at Christmas parade was terrorism, mental illness, or someone acting in perceived self-defense? Okay, look. Do you not understand? We cannot find common ground if you don't.
Wait, does he think that those people were being serious, or does he think that those people, did he not understand what was going on? Like they're talking about how, like, they're talking about something separate. Okay, the point that they're making is like conservatives will run to defend someone who drives into a crowd and claim it's self-defense if they think it's a conservative. They're not actually saying like this is literally what's going to happen. Okay?
Don't realize the difference between Kyle Rittenhouse cleaning up graffiti, providing medical care,
And
and
streets.
then being chased down by pedophiles, girlfriend beaters. I can't say wife beater because they don't put a ring on it. And serial criminals only shooting people who violently attacked him or tried to kill him, and somebody who deliberately plows through innocent women and children at a parade. Do we honestly want to act as though if you act like the only differentiator is race, you're a racist? And this is...
Wait, what? I don't understand. If the only differentiator amongst these instances is not race, which is not, he's right, then why are you literally talking? Why is the title of your video, Racist CNN has nothing to say about Waukesha parade perp, wonder why? This entire video is just one big self-own. He's like, but you're doing that. Like, you're literally doing that right now. You took a story and you personally are claiming that because the person is black, that the media is not covering it, which doesn't even functionally have anything to do with the story itself. And the media is already covering it. I'm so confused by this. Is this like Steven Crowder's method of broadcast is like not really addressing anything and simply just gesturing wildly? And you assume that because you're on the same team as the holster guy, you also are like, yeah, he's right. It doesn't matter. He doesn't need to actually make a good point or a coherent point at all. It's just, he's right. He's right, brother, because he's right. Okay, he's right because he's right. He's right because he's a right winger. This reminds me of the last video I put out on Steven Crowder, where he went out in public and got absolutely fucking cumstered by a bunch of people in Texas, and then turned around and like still uploaded the video for some weird reason, where he's just getting like obliterated. But I guess because his audience is like, yeah, that's my guy. He's like, yeah, you really own those guys. What's your opinion on CNN? They suck. They're not great. They are center right, as most media outlets are. And they do like lip service to some social justice every now and then. They definitely weaponize social justice regularly on whoever they consider to be their enemies. But most people can't comprehend center right exists outside of just like saying that gay people can coexist or that trans people are valid. You know, you can still be center right ultimately, despite the fact that you are aesthetically, at the very least, appealing to some cultural norms. Okay, but in America, you just don't think about the economics of the situation. You only think about like, oh, do you want to kill trans people, or do you think trans people should survive? If you want to kill trans people, then yeah, that's you're right wing. If you want to not kill trans people, then you're left wing. Okay, that's how it is. You're socialist. You're communist. Are you actually trolling? If you don't think CNN, when it comes to any sort of like economic policy, is not center right, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, they have Jake Tapper. They're center right as fuck when it comes to American imperialism. I would say they're even far right when it comes to American imperialism. They are absolutely an advocate for consistent warfare all around the world, death, destabilization, all that sort of good stuff. They're consistently right wing when it comes to Medicare for all and launching agitprop against Medicare for all. They're right wing as fuck when it comes to that sort of stuff, and they will aesthetically claim or adopt liberal or progressive positions when it comes to social issues. And even then, 90% of the time, that fucking misses the mark too. Unless they're like directly in opposition of a right winger who's like, saying that trans people should be murdered. Most of the time, they're just using that to be like Bernie Sanders is a racist, or whoever the fuck is like a left winger who truly wants good things for the American people, no matter what color or creed they are, is like racist or sexist or homophobic or whatever the fuck. A lot of these liberal institutions are fake. Okay, look at the Me Too movement. Okay, Time's Up was created after Me Too. The main lady in charge of Time's Up was giving advice to Andrew Cuomo about how to defeat women that were coming out with sexual harassment accusations against them. Okay? Emily's List is a liberal organization that seeks to put women in office. Okay? They've had numerous instances where, even after this came out, they had Michael Bloomberg on. Okay? Multiple times. In certain circumstances, they have actually advocated for a liberal center-right politician to be in office instead of a female that is a progressive, that is an actual leftist. So, please, these institutions are just only, they're built up only to weaponize social justice for the most part. Sometimes they do good, but usually they don't. Okay? You are out of topic, Hassan, again. CNN is the most left media we can get. Give us good example if you can disagree. Alın kızı 04. You are out of topic, Hassan, again. Listen, dude, no disrespect, but if you don't know how to speak English, it's clear that you don't. You're Turkish, and you don't really have a good grasp of the language. Maybe just don't fucking try to own me, okay? Bence bırak bunu. Amerikalılar yeterince yapmaya çalışıyor zaten. Yani konuşmayı bilmiyorsan İngilizce boşu boşuna yazmaya çalışma burada gerizekalı. Kendini utandırıyorsun. Türkleri utandırıyorsun. Okay? Anyway, let's keep going.
Look, let me put a fine point on this. The biggest problem that we have today, the biggest problem that we have with our media, is that it is intensely racist.
Absolutely.
Yes.
They're intensely racist. I do mean anti-white as a general rule. And I'm not someone who goes around and says, I'm proud to be white, because I didn't do anything to be white. I'm not.
You didn't answer his question, though? No, he didn't understand that I was already addressing a question that he didn't even put out there. First of all, that wasn't even a question that was loaded. Secondly, I was in the process of describing why these liberal institutions are actually center-right. So in the end, when I was done explaining why, if you're still saying, well, give me an example, then you're a fucking idiot. There's nothing more I can explain to you. I already did. I already mentioned why it's center-right. Anyway, that's Sojaya. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. You have allowed 5 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the ad break, which is coming right now. That's right, because it's 1 p.m. and at the top of the hour, there is a 60-second ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do that for $5. You can do that for free with a Twitch Prime if you have one. Use it here. Yeah, it came in. Time is just fucking passing by very quickly. We're already here. This is crazy. We're already literally fucking at the top of the hour once again. So I'm gonna run that now. Okay. 60-second ad break time. I am sick, yes.
Proud of my skin
Well,
color.
I'm not sick, but my voice is.
I'm not ashamed of my skin color. It's sort of a neutral, it's not a character point. They definitely have a bias against white people, and more importantly, they see everything through the prism of race. If the only difference you see between a Kyle Rittenhouse and this is race, you are a racist, and everyone in mainstream media, this is how they replied, with the exception of Fox News and a few places like that. Yeah. How did they all get it wrong? How does CNN not have it up now, at least 15 minutes ago? Darrell Brooks Jr. was released, just to be clear, this goes back to the looting problem, on a $1,000 bond 2 days ago for domestic abuse and bail jumping. He's also a registered sex offender. And just in case you won't see this on CNN, MSNBC, any of these places, believe your lying eyes and ears, here he is explaining the charges. By the way, like the wet bandits, incriminating himself on video.
And then as soon as we fall out, all of a sudden now I'm a pedophile. Let me explain that. 10 years ago, 2006, I caught a case with my oldest daughter's mama. Yes, my baby mama. She's from Oakland. I was busting moves in Nevada.
What does that mean?
I meet the bitch. She says she want to get down, so I'm pimping on the bitch.
It's a great hat.
Nevada. You know what I'm saying? I get cracked. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know the bitch was 16 at the time. She gave a statement to the police and told them, yeah, she was hoeing, that I was pimping, and that
winner,
she was 16,
man. What a winner.
That I didn't know that. Okay?
Monday motivation. I didn't know the bitch was 16.
Yeah.
Jesus. Guys,
Is that a legal defense?
I think so.
She was 15. I don't know.
What am I supposed to do? Card every bitch?
So, by the way, media hasn't done any digging. Now, people are wondering if there's a motivation here because it seems like a targeted attack.
Yeah.
His social media is full of pro-Black Lives Matter, which I define as a domestic terrorist group, and anti-Kyle Rittenhouse
Can
posts.
we at this point?
He
Come
tweeted
on.
a photo of a MAGA hat that said, wire Kanye's mouth shut again. All caps. I don't know if that's the name of an album.
It's too wordy.
Facebook, it read, religion is white supremacy.
Ah, that's good.
I mean, come on, for crying! They still don't have it up at CNN. Look, why is this story being buried? Look, right now they're talking about it. Right now, let's bring it up on CNN. Right now, let's see if they mention the guy.
Within at least 2 feet, I could have touched the car going by.
Was the guy white or black?
He threw his child out of the way.
I'm getting tired of this accent.
Natasha Chen joins us now from the scene in Waukesha.
Just a little bit.
Natasha, what,
No
what
offense.
more are we learning?
We go now live in Waukesha to.
I love this. They're literally like, why aren't they just constantly mentioning that he's black? Why aren't they constantly mentioning that he's black? I feel like what Steven Crowder wants is for them to literally just say, he's black, he's black, he's black. Welcome back to CNN. Okay. Welcome back to CNN. I'm Tom Handsome. And have I mentioned that the Waukesha driver was black? Just why aren't they saying the N-word? I'm Steven Crowder. And my commentary revolves around why CNN is too afraid to say the N-word. Okay? That's what's going on. I love that they went in live. It would have been so funny if they actually mentioned or showed a photo of the guy, the driver. It would have been fucking hilarious because it would have defeated everything that they're saying. But not Tom Handsome. I don't know. I just couldn't come up with another name. How are you gonna do agitprop in this way, where it's like liberals only talk about race, liberals only care about race, liberals only care about race. I don't see any race. Why aren't they literally just mentioning race? Why can't they mention race? Why can't they mention race? Why is there no race being mentioned? Why is there no race being mentioned? Immediately. Why aren't they talking about race all the time? That's the only thing they should be talking about.
To the Avery family. Yeah?
It does take the seriousness out of it.
I don't know what happened there with Teresa Hallback at the parade.
But the police really wouldn't answer any questions about what role that person played or anything that person said to them when he or she was taken into custody.
Wait, he or she? He or she? Come on,
really?
moderately
Wow.
Asian reporter Natasha Chen. Do you not know?
Wait, I don't get it. Yeah, they might not know at that point. Like, the police haven't made a if the cops have not made an official release, at that point, if the cops have not officially released the information, the appropriate thing to do in that situation is to not say something wrong. Also, why is he constantly talking about Asian reporters and saying like they're moderately Asian or very Asian or whatever the fuck? What is that? Like what is, oh my God.
Know if it's a he or a she. Or
Also, it really destroys Steven Crowder's argument that like conservatives see no race when he can't stop himself when there's a non-white person on screen. Like, literally, 2 white folk and an Asian lady, okay, on screen, and immediately as it pans to the fucking Asian lady, he's like, starts talking about race. For a guy who says he doesn't see race or doesn't want to talk about race, and liberals only talk about race, he sure points out whenever there's a non-white person on screen. Kind of weird.
He or she was taken into custody.
Wait, he or she?
Anyway.
Non-binary. What happened? He or she? Did you guys
It's
see
a
this?
girl.
Did everyone just see this in real time? They have a hit list here of information, and it doesn't include the guy.
Wow.
At all.
Not
At all.
At
We
all.
don't have any information. Could you imagine this reporting?
Called it? What do you mean? Wait for the MB joke after the next. Oh, yeah, he did. He said, wait for the MB joke after the next pause. Called it. CNN immediately shows a picture. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Are you telling me that CNN has revealed the mugshot of the person who drove the car? Wait a minute. No. No. That's crazy. It almost seems like this stuff is always going to be revealed inevitably. Why would they try to hide it? What would they get out of hiding it? It was from 12 minutes ago. Maybe someone was watching Crowder. To think that Steven Crowder's idiotic, racist rants
In this
that have only gotten 178,000 views on YouTube are the reason why CNN is revealing information as it comes out, okay? Is silly as fuck. Girl Books is being charged with 5 counts of first-degree homicide. We bitch about it because the criminal justice system only works against brown people. They still don't mention that he's black, though. I'm sorry. There's no mention here that he's black. They're still biased. Still biased. Doesn't count. Anyway. Okay. I'm bored of this fucking rant. It's really
made it a
idiotic.
race.
Do you think BLM will crowdfund this guy's bail? Are you fucking stupid? Race is not relevant to this as much as it is killing in a Black Lives Matter protest during a global race movement. Kyle did it at a race protest. What are you saying? No, I don't think Black Lives Matter will crowdfund this guy's bail. No. Why would they do that? Are you a fucking idiot? Like, what's the point? Oh, I think they're contrasting to the right funding. Oh. What is a race protest? Oh, rhetorical. Yeah, okay. No, they're not going to fucking crowdfund this psycho's a bail fund. Because the left or progressive organizations are not fucking bloodthirsty psychopaths who are like, oh, we're all on the same team, I guess. Doesn't matter because he's black. You know what I mean?
All right.
Okay, we're done with I've covered this for way too long, dude. Wait.
Incredibly rare.
Steven Crowder. Okay, we gotta show this though. Last Steven Crowder piece to end this.
But
note. Steven Crowder, after accusing black people of being racist against white people, Steven Crowder declares slavery was never racially motivated.
That actual racism, meaning that you have, not even necessarily that you.
Thank you, Boomer Chase, for the 5 gifted subs.
View them as inferior, but a predetermined negative worldview of someone because of their race can happen in any group of people. Yeah. And I do think actually we're probably at a point where it happens more. You probably have more black people right now because of what they're being fed by the media who have a preconceived, incorrect, negative idea of what white people are than white people maybe have of black people. I don't know.
Dude, this is so awesome. It's so good. It's a self-report. Okay? It infantilizes black people. Like, it literally is like, yeah, black people didn't realize white people were racist until the media told them that was the case, you know? Like, and when there were less media, when the media did not exist as a matter of fact, like during, the pre-abolition era, pre-Reconstruction era, for example, black people were like, white people are so nice to us. That's what they were doing. They didn't even want to be freed, right? That's like, again, when a lot of racist people, whenever they talk about black people, they basically reveal their perspective on how black people are. They treat them as a monolith. These are quick, like, things that you can figure out about a person, okay? Immediately acting like black people are a monolith, or infantilizing black people and saying that, like, black people cannot independently come to the conclusion that, like, some white people are fucking racist or the system is racist, without the media telling them that that is the case. And also on top of that, the media is teaching black people to be racist against white people.
Can happen in any group of people. Yeah. And I do think actually we're probably at a point where it happens more. You probably have more black people right now because of what they're being fed by the media who have a preconceived, incorrect, negative idea of what white.
Bro, he took down that video you were just watching. What a fucking coward. Are you serious? No shot. No shot. Wait, hold on. I gotta fucking.
In this scenario,
no, he didn't. No, he didn't. It's still up.
In this,
no, it's still up. That he would never do that. First of all, it's already gotten 183,000 views. Steven Crowder would never delete a video because it got a fucking because, like, it makes him look stupid. It's impossible to make him look stupid to his own audience because his audience is too stupid to recognize that he's being stupid.
People are than white people maybe have of black people. I don't know. Maybe it's a 50-50 split, but it certainly is something. All groups can be racist. And the left just argues like, but only one can be systemically oppressive. Do you guys know? Maybe you guys can bring this up, the number. Do you guys know how many slaves there were in the North African sort of like Mediterranean slave trade?
I don't.
Do you know how many?
I don't even have
it. It was a million. It was a million slaves. Right, people who lived on the Mediterranean coast, they were at risk. You guys know about the history of North Africa, the Moors. People, and by the way, they were kidnapping white people.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, this is not something. Slavery is not something that has been racially based.
No.
Ever. Now it was codified in
Why does he think this is a good point? Does he not realize that, historically speaking, all matter of indentured servitude and all matter of slavery is incomprehensible when compared to chattel slavery of Africans? Like, I don't get it. This is like, does he not think that it's different? Yeah, other people were enslaved. Certainly. It was a constant thing. Except no one was targeted in the same way that Africans were, where they were systematically stolen from their lands and put in ships, and for as long as they were put in ships and sent to the United States or other colonies. It's like, I'm confused by this take. And also, it continued for a lot longer than the other kinds of indentured servitude or slavery. Some might even say that it's continuing to this day within the American criminal justice system, within a racist, white supremacist criminal justice system, in which slavery is actually legal still. Slavery is an institutional hierarchy that the top of the ladder believes the enslaved are subhuman, that is based on race or religion. What the fuck was Crowder thinking? Yeah, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. I don't think he's thinking. Not thinking, just vibes. How does Steven Crowder think? Well, he doesn't. But if hypothetically, if Steven Crowder thought, how does he think the slave owners justified having slaves? Why were they all black? It's just weird, you know? I mean, all slavery matters, but also for some weird reason, they just chose to enslave black people. Must have been a weird coincidence, I guess. Very, just a very strange coincidence that, you know, they happen to be black people from Africa. And, you know, the one drop rule and white supremacy, white purity, all of that comes from how far away they are from blackness and black people. So that must have been just, you know, additional random stuff. I love this argument because, like, it literally is just like the maximum, like, you can only be racist when you're saying the N-word, not after, not before, but during, when the start of the finish of the N-word with a hard R, and not when you're, of course, singing along with a rap lyric, but like just then. Only then are you individually racist, but even then we'll look for additional context to say that you're not. This is the maximalist, this is the maximum position you can get to, okay? When this is your worldview. Saying that, like, slavery technically isn't race, chattel slavery of black people is not racist. It wasn't built around race. That's fire.
Into law because most slaves at a certain point in the United States were black, but you can look at other countries where they decided, oh, okay, now we're going to try and ensure that we maintain control over these slaves. And so therefore you look at what are the majority of slaves? All right.
I've talked about this before. People get very frustrated when I talk about this because they think like I'm caping for the Ottoman Empire or something. But like, a great difference that I can describe to you is the devshirme program in the Ottoman Empire. Okay? The Ottoman Empire enslaved Slavic people. They enslaved Eastern Europeans. They enslaved numerous people. There were black people that they enslaved as well. There were Barbary, slave trade and whatnot. One, they stopped way before America did. So there's that. Okay. Just like even the fucking UK stopped before America did. Okay. So there's that. And two, the way in which chattel slavery operated was drastically different. As a dev shirmeh, you could straight up become one of the, and many did, become one of the most important people, the best educated and most important people. It was still, you know, it was still inhumane because of the origin point where you're still being removed from your family. But ultimately, to make that comparison, for example, to chattel slavery is psychotic. Okay? Because the level of autonomy that you got as like within the dev shipment program is insane to compare to chattel slavery, for example. Same with indentured servitude. Indentured servitude, for example, it's not ethical, it's still slavery, and I'm not trying to justify it. The comparison I'm making is that it is so much worse. Chattel slavery is unique, okay? Chattel slavery is unique. That's the point. It was, one, unique because it was race-based, okay? Targeted exclusively towards Africans, okay? On the virtue of their blackness, justified by claiming that these black Africans were not human, they were subhuman. So it was uniquely brutal in that sense as well. Okay? And it was unique even in comparison to indentured servitude, because indentured servitude, another form of slavery, like that the Irish were subjected to, or the British subjected others to as well, indentured servitude did not pass on to your child, and you could buy your freedom. That doesn't make that correct. That doesn't make that a good thing. But when compared to chattel slavery, one is still worse. I don't like to engage in oppression Olympics. I think it's a really silly thing, like comparing one genocide to the other or whatever. But this is one area where you can analyze the material conditions, okay, and the oppression that people were subjected to, and very clearly say, this is worse. And as a matter of fact, every historian will say that. Okay? It's not even normative in that instance. It's just descriptive. I am describing to you that one form of slavery was more brutal than others. Okay?
We determine them then by skin color or ethnicity or where they've come from, like the Indian people were enslaved. There are still people enslaved in the world today. Look, slavery is not uniquely American. It was never uniquely American. It still exists outside of the United States of America. Slavery was never racially motivated, to be clear. It happened in large numbers, to the tune of millions, black people enslaving white people as well. And it's wrong across the board. The United States.
Black people were enslaving white people? What? Incredible.
It's singularly unique in, however, recognizing and ending slavery because it was incompatible with the Constitution and the.
What?
Across the board, the United States is singularly unique in, however, recognizing and ending slavery because it was incompatible.
This is why they don't want like people to learn about slavery in school, so he can just like fucking say this stuff and people won't question it. He said, one, slavery wasn't race-based, or chattel slavery wasn't race-based, and the only uniqueness of like American slavery was because it was incompatible with the Constitution. Dog, the American Constitution was literally The United States Constitution was written by slave owners, majority slave owners, and it was absolutely constitutional. Okay, it was absolutely constitutional and protected. This notion that they had robust debates about the humanity of black people is a silly one. Okay, it took a fucking entire war and the federal government to take action against the South. And not only that, but before that, it was straight up baked into our institutions with a 3/5 rule. Okay, so I don't know what kind of fucking idiotic person could say that. I mean, this is insane. This is incredible. The 3/5 clause of the United States Constitution straight up dictates that like the African slaves were going to be considered 3/5 of a human. Okay. And the slave owners were advocating for that, actually. So remember that, because there was a population of slaves in the South, and the slave owners were like, well, we want them to be not represented, but actually, you know, we want to have more political power. And not only that, yeah, actually, this is perfect. It's like saying Hitler was good because he killed himself. Yeah. You know, Hitler was uniquely good because he killed himself. Don't think about all the other stuff. For the record, no, actually, Jefferson and Co. did have robust morality debates, but decided to move ahead anyway, which makes it way worse. Yeah, but like, but ultimately, it doesn't matter. And also, and I can't believe I'm saying this, you know, shouts out to fucking European countries or whatnot, but come on, Islam, most Ottoman slaves did not have the immense power associated with being a janissary or in the imperial harem. Also, slavery was effectively banned only less than 20 years before America, and it was officially banned in 1924 when Turkey was created, far later than America. It's because it's a different country. But not only are you unironically making the argument that indentured servitude or slavery in other countries is the same as chattel slavery, because you are completely false and completely incorrect. Like, in an effort to dunk on me for a perceived bias that you think is happening, you're literally just spreading falsehoods. Especially considering that, like, you can continue to make the argument that slavery is still legal in the United States. So, you know, because it is. Slavery is still legal in the United States under the 13th Amendment. Within our prison system, slavery is good if the Ottomans do it. 2021. Two bad things can coexist. Slavery is not good. Okay? It's not good. Across the board, I'm anti-slavery. This might come as a shock to you. But to compare not only the Ottoman form of slavery, but also the indentured servitude form of slavery that existed both in the Ottoman Empire and also around the world, to chattel slavery of Africans is psychotic. America is unique. Stephen Crowder is correct in that. Okay? It's unique because it's uniquely cruel and has been uniquely cruel. Americans were not only late to the game in abolishing slavery, there was an entire war, a very bloody one, fought over doing that, but then also it didn't stop there. Americans took another 100 years to offer like some kind of equality, which still doesn't exist to this day, but at least like some kind of like equality where it's like you can't outwardly fucking say like black people and white people can't use the same pool or water fountains. So like, these guys are weebs, okay? Our history is really horrible. We are historically stands of slavery, so much so that we did not want to give it up for 100 extra years after we abolished it. So, yeah. The Ottomans instituted a tax of 1/5 on all slaves taken in war, and it was from this pool of manpower that the sultans first constructed the Janissary Corps as a personal army loyal to the sultan. One Google, all it took. Well, no, that person, delayed autistic guppy, was actually saying that not all of the slaves within the Ottoman Empire were as prominent as the Janissaries, because the Janissaries were like, they imperial concubines literally made matters of like public policy decisions. Those were like elites. That's why it's like incomprehensible. But he's saying that ultimately across the board there were way worse treated slaves than them, and he's right about that. But even then, it's nowhere near as bad or as systematic as chattel slavery. That's the point. You can also point to, for example, black eunuchs within the Ottoman harems. Like, they would use black slaves inside of the Ottoman harems, and they would, they would cut their dicks. The reason why they originally were using black slaves in the harems is so that they knew if the concubines had actually slept with the harem guard, or whatever the fuck it's called in English. I don't know. So you can point to that and be like, well, that's more brutal than everything else, but that's like individual case. Wait, I thought eunuchs only cut their balls? No. No, they would cut their entire dicks and balls. Eunuchs would have, they would wear hats, and inside of that hat, there was a metal piece. A metal like piece the size of a penny that had a hole in it. And the reason for why they would walk around with that is so that they could literally pee out of what once was their penis. They would have to put that down to pee because they were castrated. And they would die at a very early age, of course. Why do I know that? Because I don't know. I fucking know about history. I don't know what else to say about that. Literally just trying to show American slavery is big bad, and now everyone has a damn PhD trying to prove them wrong. I mean, it's really stupid. It's like you're arguing against damn near consensus on history. Anyway. Good stuff from Steven.